All right, back again with a little more on lessons learned and follow up. I don't know if you can see it too well, but in terms of what we did with the scope mount, we previously had the scope mount all the way back to essentially the farthest position it could be in measuring the eye relief to the cheek pad, and then taking into account different shooters' preferences. We decided to move this up about an inch and adjust the scope a little bit, and also on the rear stock extend the butt pad about an inch or so. So together with all of that added up and readjusting, that seemed to work quite well for follow-up shooting. No issues with scope bite or levels of comfort in terms of scope and eye relief. The one painful lesson is this puppy packs a punch, and depending on which round we were shooting, the 395 versus a 450 grain, the rifle moved anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, and it was a good punch on the shoulder slash arm, even with a good inch on this particular butt pad. So in the future, we may be putting a sandbag back here to absorb some of the recoil in the punch. But the only other surprise from a rifle perspective was the bipod. Because this is not so much a quick release, but a pressure mount after so many rounds, and that locks into one of the grooves in the Picatinny rail, so that it's actually in there. But because it is essentially the equivalent of a nut and a bolt, it does work itself looser, so it's something to consider. We were also checking both the scope ring mounts as well, or the ring mounts, as well as the rail mount to see if anything had loosened up over time, and these held pretty tight, so pretty happy with that. But on to the next segment to mention was brass fatigue. As we were trying to readjust the sizing die, and before I started over, I was thinking, I'll just keep moving it in an eighth of a turn, and what ended up happening in my zest for searching for the perfect location to lock things in, we had a couple splits. This one was older, and this one is relatively recent. Obviously now a piece of paperweight die. Not sure what I'll use it for. I put split on there on both of them just because I don't want to accidentally use them or accidentally get them in the rotation. So just a heads up, it is possible to split your brass from overworking them. Fatigue.